Everyone, welcome back to the video series of the object oriented programming with Java. Our today's topic for this particular video, that is the synchronization and thread with the executor framework. So these two topic I will discuss in this particular video. I am an instructor Mr. Ankit Patel. So let's start with the outlines of the today's lecture. So first one, that is the synchronize method. Next, that is a synchronized block, and the last one, that is a creating and executing a thread using the executor framework. So let's start. First of all, what do you mean by the thread method and what is the use of the thread method? So when it is required this topic, so the first when we are working with the multiple thread within a program, there may be a situation when multiple thread try to access the same resources and finally they can produce unforeseen result, or you can say a wrong result due to concurrency issue. So the situation like suppose the situation where the thread 1 result will be used in thread 2, thread 2 result will be used in a thread 3. So but we all know about the thread that execute this simultaneously, but by chance suppose the thread 2 will be executed first, so thread 2 will require the result of 1 and still thread 1 is not right now it start execution. So at the same time this will produce some wrong result. So for example, if you are talking about the file management, so if the multiple thread are try to write within the same file, then they may corrupt the data because one thread is opening the same file, at the same time another thread might be closing the same time. So this will happen in the where the resource are the shared resources there. So synchronize what tells? It tells like one thread, if one thread is start its execution, next thread will not start its execution until the first thread will complete its task. So that is the advantage of the synchronization. So synchronization is normally work as a linear manner. One thread completed task, when it leave the then second thread start execution. Like if you are talking about the operating system, there is a one topic in that is a critical section is there. So critical section is tell like if one process is in a critical section, no other process are try to access the critical section. Same situation we can implement using the synchronization mode. Block or method. So next topic, that is synchronize block. So synchronizes method and synchronized block are mostly used for the same purpose, but here the block, what we can do with the synchronized block, so if we only need to execute this some subsequent line of code, not all the line of code within a method, then we should synchronize only a block of the code within which require instruction or exit, means some of the statements, some of the line you want to execute, not all the line are execute in the synchronized method, then you need to use just synchronized block. So that is some minor difference between the synchronized method and synchronized block. The agenda for this particular synchronization block and method is same, that only a single thread will be started executed. During the execution of the thread 1, no other thread are have chance to execute the thread. Now next one, that is a creating and executing the thread using the executor framework. Now what is executor framework? So here using the executor framework, we have one pool is there. Now if you are not using the executor framework, now suppose if you are creating the 5 thread and you are starting all these threads, suppose there are the 5 threads T1, T2, T3, T4 and T5. So if you are just write like this, T1 dot start, T2 dot start, T3 dot start, T4 dot start and T5 dot start. So what happened? All these 5 threads are run simultaneously. But now what we want to do, suppose we want to do like only first 3 will start its execution. Now when the first 3 or first 2 complete its execution, then the next thread have the chance. So we need to create some pool where only some amount of thread are currently there. Now if you are talking about the only, I am talking about the 5 thread, but suppose if there are 100 thread is there and all the 100 thread will start its execution simultaneously, that time it creates some overhead. But now if you want to create the pool, like right now you want to run only the 5 thread. So the bucket you want to create the only 5 thread bucket. Then if the first thread complete, the 6th thread will be starting execution. Second thread will complete, 7th thread have a chance. So only parallelly only the 5 thread are running. And you can make this type of program by using the Executor Framework. So Executor Framework, a thread full reuse previously created thread to execute the current task and offer a solution to the problem of the thread cycle overhead and resource thrashing that I already told you. This will help us to solve the problem of the overhead and the resource thrashing, because resource thrashing is what? Suppose if you are talking about the 100 thread are parallelly executing, so we require that much of resource, and if the some thread are accessing that resource and another thread is waiting on that particular thread, so that will create a problem. So Java provides the Executor Framework which is centered around the executor interface and its sub interface, that is the executor service, and the class, that is a thread pool executor. So we are using these two concepts in our the program, and which implement both these interface. So we are using the executor service as well as thread pool executor class. So by using the executor, one only has to implement the runnable objects. So we need to implement the runnable object and send them to the executor to execute. So I will explain you in detail within the programming. So what happened when we are using the Executor Framework for executing the thread, and if you are not using the Executor Framework, then what happened? So hope you understand the three topics, that is a synchronized block, synchronized method and the Executor Framework. I will explain you all this with the programming. So without wasting so much time, let's start the programming. Now in this session I will show you the example of the synchronized method and synchronized block, as well as creating a thread and executing using the Executor Framework. So first of all I will show you the use of the synchronized method in our program. So let's start the programming. I am creating a one class, that is a test class is there. I have already saved this particular file using the demo.java. So my main class name is demo.java. Now in thread I am creating a one method, that is a void m1 method is there. Now in that particular thread I am using a sleep method, so that I just need to write down one message, that is a system.out.println. Then I am printing a here good. Then thread dot sleep, I am passing just 1000 here and just print it again good and morning. Now we require catch. I am just using an interrupted exception. I am not passing any message, so I am closing here catch. Now this is the end of the method. Now so now we need to create one other class for the synchronizing or for the creating a critical section. So I am here, the main class is the class sync demo. I am creating a class that is extends a thread class. So we require a run method over here. So I am first of all I am creating a test t1, the object of the test class t. Now in a sync demo I will explain you all this all the line that I have, why I am creating the constructor, why we require it. First I will just write it down. Just I am passing again object this t, and this tell this dot t, that is equals to t. So what we have created first, let's see. First we have created one class test. In that particular class I have created one method only. In that particular method I have passed a good morning. In between good and morning I have used a sleep method with the 1000 millisecond. Now sync demo constructor. Now here what we want to do, I am just creating a run method over here. I am just creating here run method, public void run. In run method I am just calling a method t.m1 that we have created in above. So that's it. First we have created this code for the test, one m1 method that will print a good morning, and in a sync demo method I am calling this m1 method. Now just create the main class demo, public static void main string args. What is the use of the synchronization? Synchronization, that means the first, until the first thread completed task, the second thread have not chance to execute. So let's first of all we are running a normal program. We are not using a synchronized method. What will be the output? First see. Sync demo, we are creating the object like t1, that is equals to new sync demo. I am creating a second object that is a t2, and I am just writing t1 dot start and t2 dot start. What happen over here, whenever you are writing a t1 dot start, it will call this run method. It will call the t dot m1. Now in t dot m1, first it will print a good. Then what happen, 1 second wait is there. So thread, both the thread are calling simultaneously. If the one thread is wait staying, second thread has a chance to print. So what it will print, again it will print a good. Then after one thread, 1 second completed, the thread 1 will you allow and it will print a morning. Same as the thread 2, 1 second wait and it will print a. So what will be the output? Good morning morning. That means both the thread are calling simultaneously, but we don't want that type of output. We want a what output? Good morning, good morning. No, first I will show you the output that you can easily understand. You can see Java C demo dot Java. Here some error is there, interrupted exception. Constructor t dot new class cannot be applied to given type. Okay, so we require we need to pass some object in this particular method because we have created a constructor. Suppose if you are not creating constructor, I am just put it in a comment. You can easily understand. Java demo. One exception will be thread 0, exception in thread 1 because null pointer exception is there. So what we need to do first of all, because we are calling using the t object, I am just removing it again. Cannot find a symbol, I just verify t here. Now let's run it. First of all, I will show you what is the use of the synchronize. Synchronize is there. The keyword is, what is the keyword here? That is a synchronize is there. So we need to write down here a synchronize. Just put it this line as it is. Now you can see here Now suppose if you are printing that line, we need to create the object of the our main class, that is a test t1, that is equals to new test, and I am passing a t1 over here, t1. Now what happened was sync demo t1 dot start cannot find. Okay, both the object name is same, that's why this happened. I am just writing over t3, t3, t3. Okay, so now let's run this code. You can easily, good morning, good morning. This is because the first thread completed task, then the second thread have a chance to execute. So good morning, good morning. So this is how we can use a synchronized method. If you are not just write it over here synchronized, then what will be the output will be printed? You can see good morning, morning. So that's why the synchronization means what? It will create a critical section, and in critical section you can see the different between this critical section. What tell? This tell that only one thread have execution, and then the other thread we need to wait it. Now the next topic, that is a synchronized block is there. Now suppose if you are not writing here synchronize, you can also use synchronized block over here. So now you need to just write down synchronize, the name of the object here t, and just write down here t.m1. What is the advantage of the synchronized block? So here again it will print a same type of synchronization form. You can see good morning, good morning. So advantage of the synchronize is only, suppose you no need to write down here synchronize. Suppose there are the 5 method is there. So in all these 5 methods, suppose if you are using a synchronize method, you need to write down just synchronize void m1, synchronize void m2, synchronize void m3. But if you are using a synchronized block over here, you need to just write down synchronize t, and then just write t.m1, t.m2, t.m3. That is only the difference between the synchronized method and synchronized block. So hope you understand both the topics, synchronized method and synchronized block. Now the next topic, that is the executor framework. Now I have already written that particular code for this program. So we need to import these two main important package, that is java.util.concurrent.executor service as well as executors for the executor framework. Now what we have done in this particular class, this code is simple, that I have already taught in my last topic, that we are creating a simple a task class is there that implement the runnable, string name is there, then one constructor is there, we are passing a name to constructor, then public void run method is there, this method will execute 3 times, then this will print the executor task. We are just printing the name of the task, which thread is running, that's why we are writing a just passing this name, then the which thread has completed the task and interrupted exception. Now in main, you can see here in a main I have created the max t. So here I want to execute a program like we want only a 3 thread at a time is running, right? So now I have just created the 3 task R1, R2, R3, R5, and if you are calling like R1.start, R2.start, all the 5 thread will call the run method simultaneously, but we need only just 3 thread. So here what we need to do, we are using this line, this executor service pool we created, and executors dot new fixed thread pool, and we are passing the max t. Max here, what is the value of max t? Max t value is 3. That means the pool capacity is only a 3 thread. So either you are writing just pool.execute R1, pool.execute R2, pool.execute R3 and R4. So that means we have start all the thread, but first what we have write R1, R2, R3, the first thread will be executed after the completion of the any of the R1, R2, R3. Now next chance is for R4. After the completion of the R2, R3, R2, then next chance is for the R3. So here the pool is 3. So first of all, I will show you the output, then you can easily understand. Here my class name, that is a Java C test1.java, then Java test1. You can see the task 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. The first task, it will print only the combination of 1 2 3, just because we have created the pool of the 3. Now when the task 1 is completed, task 2 and 3 is completed, there is a chance of the task 4. That means here the combination is only of the 4 5, because the task 1 2 3 has completed its task. Even the task 1 is completed, there is a chance of task 4. And here lastly it will shows the task 4 is completed and task 5 is completed. Here we need to write down just pool.shutdown. If you are not shut down that particular program, the program is not ended. We need to, by force, we need to end the program. So hope you understand the advantage of this executor framework. So that's it from the programming session. So thank you very much. If you have any doubt, you can feel free to ask me. Thank you very much.